For our family Shabbat services, we ask that our confirmands, our 10th grade students, take turns teaching us something. And so it's my pleasure to invite forward the first of the 10th graders, the first of the confirmands, Eliot Daniels.
Good evening. One foot after another in the sweltering heat of Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Little did I know in that first 5 minutes of walking to the trail how much it would affect me. New hiking boots, unfamiliar pack on my back, these first steps seemed easy. 5 teens and 2 adults by my side, most of whom I barely knew, were accompanying me for this journey. 5 days, hiking, the Appalachian Trail. I had been running for only a little bit, but I felt confident in my abilities to walk up to 10 miles a day with a 20 to 30 pound pack on my back. Oh boy, I was wrong. That first day was a struggle. 90-degree heat, high humidity, and the first day of the trip made the experience not so fun. Pain was felt everywhere. My hips, shoulders, calves, feet, and quads. I was thirsty, sweating all over the place. Even though it was some of the flattest ground we passed through. It only made the ending seem not only far away, but impossible. The easiest way to circumnavigate this was to split it up day by day, with my Fitbit and the signs being the only way we knew how far we went. When we finished the first day, it made me look back, not only because that was all we really could do in the middle of the forest, without enough energy to even talk. This was the first day on the trail, and it was not what I expected, even with my first-hand experience with the trail 2 years before. When I arrived at the shelter, I immediately dropped my pack and collapsed into the bench. A wooden bench never felt better. All of us laid there for a while, just breathing and taking in what we just did. It was immense, 7.5 miles on the first day, full of pain and suffering. But it wasn't over yet. We looked up and saw a sign, 0.5 miles to water, with a blue arrow leading down a trail. Great. We took our completely empty water bladders and took them down the trail, which was on a hill, to the creek. We filled our electrolyte bottles in our bladders and started up the hill. During dinner that night, we all complained, but we all learned a lesson. Even basic things, such as running water, should not be taken for granted. We went to bed that night in agony of the next day. We woke up really early the next day, around 5 a.m. It surprised all of us and none of us. We all made the breakfast oatmeal, took a bite, and promptly put it in our trash bags. We hoisted our bags and left the shelter. We kept going even though they didn't want to. We started walking, 8.5 miles to the next shelter. We walked and walked, and then it started to drizzle, and then it started to rain, and then it started to pour, and there was nothing we could do. We kept walking because there was nothing else we could do. Noah felt the rain, or we can assume he did, but he had warning. God told Noah about the flood because he trusted Noah's ideals. Noah had trust in God that during the time he was building the ark, he would have time to finish it and save the animals of the earth. Trust is a powerful thing. You probably knew that. We had to trust the trail markings in making sure we were going the right direction. We had to trust the adults in our group to make sure we brought enough food. We had to trust each other when all 5 of the kids had to share a single tent one night. We had to trust each other when sleeping together on the hardwood floor of a shelter. We had to trust ourselves that we could get through the trail. We needed to trust. Noah had to trust God in order to survive the flood. He had no idea if he would survive, but he trusted God, and that's what he counted on. God trusted Noah to be able to restart the human species and rebuild their civilization. We had to make a promise to ourselves that everything would end up okay, just like God made a promise to Noah. We had to promise ourselves that the hard part was behind us and that it was downhill from there, even if Thursday consisted of our last mile being completely uphill. The trust we learned during the trail was something we cannot ever forget. Our connections with each other, the stories that we will be reminding each other of for years, and all was part of that trust we built out of each other in this trip. The Appalachian Trail was an interesting experience. It provided a week of being alone in the woods with only the BHC group and some people we met on the trail to talk to. And it felt really good on Friday when we only had to hike 5 miles instead of the 10 we had done for the past 2 days. Crossing the Mason-Dixon line and finishing the hike was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. So much hard work, and we had finally accomplished our goal of hiking the entire Maryland section of the Appalachian Trail. I learned through this trip not only that things in life are hard, but those same things are also very achievable. I wouldn't say I would ever do it again, but it was a great experience and a great time to think. Thank you.